Hey, it's Mike Brennan with another segment on MITech TV. We have with us today Rick Beckers, actually a longtime former partner and longtime friend, but we worked together a number of years ago and we're working together again. And he has created something called Channel Sales Pro. Now, I know what it is, clearly, but I'm going to let Rick explain it to you because I always seem to mess these things up trying to explain them. So go ahead, Rick. Tell us what Channel Sales Pro is.
Channel Sales Pro started off. Channel Sales Pro started off as a very specific consulting business, and it was specific to the technology industry, which is a very complex, sales process, marketing process, and everything else in order to make something happen. And and what was unique about Channel Sales Pro in the beginning is that it was me building from the ground up a channel sales program that a technology company could use to go to market and do so without hiring their own salespeople. So they use an indirect market, which is very common in the technology industry. And I would build those channel programs for them and then help them to scale the number of partners that they had and then start moving towards teaching them how to sell the product and raising revenue and so on. And that hasn't changed, but there are so many other pieces and parts that plug into that basic comment of, hey, I build technology channel programs, but what else, right? And so Channel Sales Pro is the culmination of all of the pieces and parts and tools and techniques that are necessary for a technology company, whether that's a basic feet on the street, IT service and support company, or a software company, an AI company, a cybersecurity company. Any of these technology companies, we have a pattern, if you will, and how that they can go about uh, outsourcing a number of the tasks necessary for them to uh, accomplish lead gen and bring in new customers and close new deals and scale new revenue and so on. So that is what Channel Sales Pro is that company that specializes in the technology industry in terms of helping them grow their business. Makes
Okay,
sense.
so your ChannelSales.pro scale service, it's an outsourced revenue generating service. It allows a tech vendor to outsource most, if not all, of their sales cycle. But tech is a complex topic. There's a lot of different flavors of it. How can you do this?
Well, we do it because I'm rather unique in terms of 40 years of experience from the very beginning of the personal computer. I've been with it ever since. And
Hmm.
having seen those evolutions of the industry just puts us that much farther ahead in terms of what to expect in terms of change. And we're constantly looking at the bleeding edge, for tools and things that we can exploit in order to increase productivity or reach areas that others can't yet reach and bring about good results. But the scale program is relatively new. I mean, all of these other things that we do, um, and I'm going to rattle off something here just to give people an idea of what all's involved, and what it is that we do. When it comes to sales and marketing, everybody's heard of email marketing, social media marketing, websites, search engine, all that kind of stuff. Um, and then from there, if you want to, most people will add on things like webinars and podcasts like this one, and events and lunch and learns and things like that. But behind the scenes, there are a whole bunch of valuable software packages that get implemented that fewer people know about. Most of them know about CRM. They don't know about PRM. That's partner relationship management. They don't know necessarily what the best marketing automation software is out there. They don't know necessarily what the best e-commerce marketplace software is out there. Um, Many don't even know that conversational AI exists. And we're all aggravated by the fact that text marketing still exists. But then you have newer things like virtual sales development personnel and fractional chief revenue officers, fractional chief marketing officers, AI chatbots. Those are becoming mundane, but the newest AI chatbots, have a whole lot more power that can be given to any of the technology businesses and allow them to answer more questions than they used to, and actually take the sale actually closer to the actual close than it's ever been before. Um, all of this stuff together really is what combines to give you the ability through the scale program, the ability to outsource your sales motions. Um, Scale is all about taking the wash, rinse, repeat sales cycle, putting and applying AI to it, automating it through workflows, and then putting it into process without so much, as 80% being automated and 20% being humanated. I'm not sure if I made that word up, but it's mine now.
It's a good word, though. Anyway,
I like it.
yeah, humanizing. I like that. So,
Yeah. So the idea being, hey, with all this modern technology that we have, let's automate 80% of it. Let's get it done faster, better, and repeatedly the same way, so that the 20% close portion that's necessary, that still needs to be done by a human and two people bonding in a relationship, can be done, and the time is given to it that it deserves, being the most valuable part of the sales process.
so it begs the question: how can a complex process like this be done economically?
Well, it's again from all of the polished processes that we've developed over the decades, AI being able to root further down into the sales stack and move things along that otherwise, we're either lost or forgotten altogether. Um, it's using the technology on behalf of the technology people that are actually trying to sell their technology, and that's a lot of technology. But I think you get what I'm saying. Um, we've been doing it a long time. We do it very well. We use the finest software and AI available in the world, and the bottom line is that we can repeat these sales processes for technology companies over and over again at a rate that they definitely would not be able to do on their own, should they have to hire their own sales management staff and their own sales staff, and then get out there and train them, and then you get turnover and everything else. We could just do it much better anymore than homegrown organic sales departments of small and medium companies.
Can you, without naming names, if you're not allowed to, give us an example of one of your successes?
Yeah, we've got a cybersecurity company out of Texas that came up with a concept for AI agents tied into what's called the Security Operations Center. Um, and the differentiating factor for this company that allowed us to go to market on their behalf and be very successful, um, was that, in a security operations center, there's a whole lot of data coming in, lots of bits and bytes and speeds and feeds and everything else. But for the most part, it looks like nonsense. And the history is that they would then dig through the pile of bits when they found a problem. And unfortunately, that's too late. Well, my client developed some agents that brought this stuff, right to the forefront very quickly, and with remediation. And Channel Sales Pro was able to take that story and weave it throughout all of those different products and processes that I mentioned earlier, and come up with a huge success in terms of revenue and tens of millions of dollars that this company didn't have. We have another company coming out that does the same thing, um, or did the same thing in terms of a revenue success, but related to Broadcom's VMware software and all of the turmoil that's going on in the industry related to that. People are running for the exits to try to find a solution other than VMware for the cost factor. And my customer did that and developed an entire migration process that made it very, very easy. Well, that story is something that we took and told, and now that company is going gangbusters, and that's pretty common. It's
Can you
yeah.
talk a little bit about pricing? I know you're aimed at the small to medium sized business market. So ballpark it there or whatever you want to say.
Well, I can't do that because, as I read off earlier, there's about 30 pieces and parts that could make up the programs that are put together on someone's behalf. Um, and it depends on how far you outsource your sales process. So when you start getting into a situation where you've got, a fractional CRO, chief revenue officer, and then maybe a channel manager and multiple uh, business development reps, as you can imagine, the cost adds up quickly, but it will never be as expensive as trying to do it on your own and having to manage that whole mess, by yourself. You'll get the economies of scale that are there, um, certainly, and so it's worth an inquiry, and if for no other reason than to do a comparison as to what you'd been doing, versus what you might be doing, and this is a new and better way of getting things done.
Running out of time here, so I just wanted to give you an opportunity to let people know how to get a hold of you, take advantage of some of these services.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So the website is Channel Sales Pro. So channelsales.pro. Sorry, channelsales.pro. Um, best number, email address is rb@channelsales.pro. And I'll tell you what, I'll give you my mobile, which is area code 248-803-6201.
Hmm.
I'm on LinkedIn. Full details, resume, and everything about myself and the company is out there on LinkedIn. I mean, we're easy to find.
All right, thanks for being with us today. Rick Beckers, ChannelSales.pro is the website, and he's got sales services for tech companies and beyond. Thanks for being with us today.